Happy Wednesday night and welcome to A Look on the Plus Side. Thank you guys, as always, for being with us. We appreciate you so much. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. It's called the Park Adventurers Club, and we have so much content. We'll tell you all about that at the end of the show, and also how you can help support the channel, should you so wish. But for now, the best way to do it is to subscribe and give this video a like, as it does help people to find us. And who's us? Who's tonight? It's me, and it's this guy. It's Mr. Patrick Hackett,
Whoa!
the Herbie.
Hey, what's going on?
The Herbie guy. You're the Herbie guy, right?
I am a Herbie guy. I am, yeah. You know, previously we've reviewed is this it?
This is it. This is it. Yeah.
Oh my God! What a
we were talking in Discord earlier today, and we were saying, or actually just before the show, and somebody was like, "Is it fully loaded? Is that the one we're doing?" And somebody was like, "Nah, it's Rides Again." So every time we've done a Herbie movie, we've gone to you, but also like I feel like you don't always love the experience.
You know, sometimes I really, really enjoy the experience. Sometimes I'm pleasantly surprised. And sometimes...
Oh, well, all right. Well,
yeah, we'll get
tread
into
lightly,
it.
my friend. This is some people's nostalgic past.
This cannot be anyone's favorite Herbie movie.
I'm just saying. You know what? We'll get to all that in a minute, but there is one thing I wanted to talk about first, because it's minorly associated with movies,
Okay.
and it's to give a big thank you to Mandy. Sent me a postcard from the last Blockbuster.
Sick! That's awesome! Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and Mandy, I think I saw Mandy in the chat. So Mandy, thank you for doing that. I went to the mailbox, I pulled this out, and it says on the back,
That's
it says,
awesome.
"Make it a Blockbuster night." That's what she wrote on there.
No one rented this from Blockbuster. This was already like dead and gone by the time Blockbuster was around.
You think?
I mean, if they were looking for Herbie and nothing else was there.
Okay. Well, anyway, thank you, Mandy, for that. That was great. Their slogan is "From 9,000 locations down to just one." Blockbuster Video, Bend, Oregon. So, yeah,
Nice.
That's fun. It says "Wow, what a difference" on the front too. Hey, Blockbuster Video, wow. Anyway,
Wow, what a difference.
Yeah, video stores were great, man. I miss the being able to go in and look around, and I think it was back before you could actually own videos. I think the first video I ever owned might have been Roger Rabbit or Batman, the 1989 Michael Keaton one.
Yeah,
because
you remember, like,
that,
if you lost one, it was like $2,000-$3,000 to the video store. Yeah,
I think it
Do you
was
know
a
what I
couple
miss?
hundred.
And I would love if Disney Plus got this. If they gave me a recommendation sections, not based on the algorithm, but it's like, hey, this week we have Josh tomorrow. He's giving you his recommendations. I know it would be some jabroni doing it and not really Josh, but it would be fun. That was one of my favorite experiences in the video store. You would go, oh man, I really like Chad. Chad makes good recommendations, and you pick up Goodfellas because Chad's Chad, you know?
Good old Chad. We miss Chad.
Oh,
Chad was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You kind of see those recommendations when you pull up the old Disney Plus, and you type in the word Herbie, and you see them all there. You got Herbie Fully Loaded, The Love Bug, which was, of course, the first one, and then Herbie Rides Again, Herbie Goes Bananas, and Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo. You and I have talked about all of them except for Herbie Rides Again, which is weird because we did them completely out of order.
Completely out of order. We lived our best life, though.
We did, because we talked to the kid from the Herbie Goes Bananas, and that was great.
I
Talking
know.
to Joaquin
Amazing.
Garay III. That was it was
So
a pleasure talking to him. And then also for Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo, we just did that one. And then Herbie Fully Loaded, we did a month.
We actually talked to Lindsay Lohan.
No. Don't lie to the people. Don't lie to the people.
I like to lie a little, though.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. You're in the entertainment biz. I understand. But they, you had asked us to have a theme month, and we did a month of Lindsay Lohan, and that's when we did that one.
Yeah.
So it's weird that we
should revisit it because Lilo and Stitch is coming out. Lilo, you know, another Lilo month.
Yes. a Lilo month. Sure, let's do it all. But we started with The Love Bug, and of course that was the original one with my favorite, I think, takeaway from the Love Bug review that we did is I talked you into the fact that Dean Jones was a good actor. I think is one of the things that I talked you into for that one.
You did talk me into it, yeah.
Yeah. Ken Berry. Is Ken Berry a good actor?
No. No, he's not. No, neither is Keenan Wynn.
Oh man. Yeah, this is an interesting one. So this movie was the second in the series. Rated G came out in 1974. The first one was, I think, 1969.
Nice.
Double checking my facts there. Yes. So the first one was in 1969. This one was in 1974. And the funny thing about this is because I didn't see them in order. And you know what, dude? I may never have seen this one. As much as I do love me some number 53.
I 100% have never seen this one.
Well, so for this one, the slogan says Herbie comes to the rescue when a greedy real estate tycoon is after an elderly widow's home. But this one is, in the truest sense, a sequel to the fact that they use, through exposition, they tell you what happened after the first movie. So Jim Douglas, who was the original owner, goes overseas to race some sports cars, I guess. And then Tennessee, who was Buddy Hackett's character, has a guru. And it's so funny. It's not a guru. It's a guru.
Guru.
Yeah. And so he is out of the picture. And so it's his I think it's his grandmother? Or is it?
I thought
mother?
It was his aunt. I thought it was his aunt because she is the
Nicole's grandmother. Or she calls her
grandmother.
Yeah.
So
they sort of pick up from that standpoint that it's, she lives in what used to be Tennessee and Jim's place, and
giving Ghostbuster
this bad
vibes.
Guy. Yeah, I guess so. This bad guy, because there's got to be a bad guy.
Real bad guy. Holy.
Yeah. Mr. Hawk, he is bound and determined to destroy the world and
build shopping malls,
put up shopping centers.
High
he
rises.
wants to pave paradise and put up a parking lot. Was that the evil we were facing in 1974? That we had to make that the evil guy, is somebody who is what do you call that? Like,
I got nothing there, Rob. But I do have a piece of trivia for you, my friend. You see, I wanted to surprise you. This movie is actually part of a greater cinematic universe besides Herbie. What movies is this connected to? Wow. I gotcha. The foot's on the other shoe.
Yeah, but that's different because when I ask you stuff, it's usually about when it's
about this. It's about the character we're talking about right now.
Yeah. So apparently, Alonzo Hawk, as I'm going to go ahead and cheat, was in the absent-minded professor.
I do that. I would have been cheating this whole time. Yeah.
I knew that's what you meant. Like I knew that was the connection, is Alonzo Hawk. So, yeah. So you go ahead and say your piece though about the trivia.
No, that was it.
Yeah.
I got you. Aha.
Do you know what the connection? Why that was the connection?
He's the bad guy in all of them.
Yeah,
right?
Because all the films were written and produced by Bill Walsh.
Bill Walsh, yes.
Yes. So let's talk about that for
an incredible IMDb.
True. But let's talk about that for a second, because I feel like all the movies of this time period, whether it was Shaggy Dog or The Absent-Minded Professor or, all of these have a very familiar vibe. But I think mostly the reason that they have that vibe is it was basically the same director. Robert Stevenson was the director of most of these movies. When you and I have gone into review,
Bill Walsh was the writer. Yeah.
And then they would just go around the Disney lot and just pull whoever off and go, are you doing a movie right now? Come do our movie. Yeah.
I got to say, that is something I've enjoyed with not so much Disney Plus, but like with Netflix and a couple of the other channels, there's now a stable of stars. I kind of miss that from the studio system of Hollywood. Not that I was like alive for that time, but you know, the history of it all, like this is your studio star. They're gonna do this many movies. I mean, I remember hearing about The Italian Job being the last movie Ed Norton had to do for one of the studios. So I think it's cool. Like we're kind of bringing that back in hopefully a more ethical way. But I like that they're just, yeah. This person's on lot today. They're now filling this very, very stereotypical role in this film.
Yep. So, but a lot of these movies that I think of fondly, like The Love Bug and That Darn Cat and The Shaggy DA, were all directed by Robert Stevenson.
Yep.
So, you know, he kind of was the architect of what was known as the live action Disney movie back in the day. So many things
Definitely.
that we know and love, like Johnny Tremaine, Zorro, Old Yeller, Darby O'Gill, Kidnapped, The Absent-Minded Professor, In Search of the Castaway Son of Flubber. And I've probably gone through this list every time we've talked about his movies because we've reviewed several of these in the past. The Monkey's Uncle. Yeah, The Monkey's Uncle.
Monkey's Uncle.
But yeah, there was definitely a formula, and I think that with this movie in particular, with Herbie Rides Again, there was definitely a formula that they were following. And in going behind the scenes with so many movies as we have, we know that one of the central themes to Walt's movies were gags, whether it was like the Mark Davis gags that are in the attractions, or the gags they apparently paid people to do for Seven Dwarfs. There's a lot of gags. I feel like this one was a little overrun with gags.
Oh, so much shtick you can shake a stick at. My goodness. And some of them, I get it, probably for the time looked amazing. But with the benefit of hindsight and technology now, oof, there are some hard to look at scenes.
Well, and just let's talk about from the beginning. When it opens up, there's destruction happening, and we don't really know why. Yep. Like we're opening
B-roll.
Up on a
just B-roll after B-roll.
Right. And it's all the different ways you can knock down a building, right? You get to see the wrecking ball and like the cranes and the smashers and the explosions, and Alonzo Hawk is in his car apparently just witnessing it all because he loves destruction and tearing up all this other stuff. So it's he's about being a developer. I guess that's the word I was struggling for before. Is he's looking for knocking down these buildings and building brand new, modern, high-rise shopping centers, etc. So
very the main crux of one being incredibly familiar looking, uncomfortably so.
Yeah. Yes, there's a lot. Like this building right here, the Euphorium, apparently was a series of movie theaters, because I looked that up to see if I could like track that one down.
I thought that was like a building next to it in New York City, because I thought the Euphorium was still there, but I could be wrong.
Well, all this takes place in San Francisco, so
right.
Although I would bet continuity was not a big priority for the folks in this movie. There's the the thing where he's got the plunger to, like, he gets to be the guy to like blow up the buildings, and then they just show you a myriad of random buildings that are falling down, and I guess this is all during the opening credits to let us know, hey, this guy, he's probably a bad guy because he's destroying all of these buildings and making room and paving paradise and putting up a parking lot. And all that's fine. But there's a scene at the beginning that just boggles my mind.
Oh,
Patrick.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Are we on the same page on this one?
I don't know. Let's talk about it. Yes! We are on this. That might be my only belly laugh of the whole movie, man. I was like, the absurdity of it was so perfect in that scene, because it's absurd. It's so absurd, and it hits so well. And this guy is looking at this beautiful, everlasting architecture, and all you can think of is the shopping center he could put there with a parking lot. And then I fast forward with my 2025 brain, and one of the things I like to do when I'm trying to fall asleep is go watch videos of abandoned malls. And I'm just thinking about how many shopping centers that Mr. Hawk made that are now just empty.
Well, I guess the thing I don't understand is we're watching him destroy things in San Francisco, I believe,
Yep.
because this is him getting ready for
Well,
Hawk
see,
Tower.
I don't think it was. I felt like that was like a worldwide destruction and showing where he.
Okay.
I don't think that was specific to San Francisco. I think that was just kind of like showing everywhere he's put up. I think we get to San Francisco shortly after the Rome scene where we're like, this is the crux of the story.
That would make more sense.
I think that was just establishing character and like what is happening. It was exposition. It was done pretty well because they showed us, they didn't tell us, which I appreciated.
Show me you're a villain without showing me you're a villain.
They did a good job with that, and I got a really good laugh at the Coliseum scene.
Yeah. It was interesting for sure. I don't know. I thought that it was all supposed to be taking place in the same place, like San Francisco, where we know most of the story takes place, and then we're in Rome. But maybe that does kind of track more that that he was doing
setting up a background and like this is going to be the crown jewel of his collection.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. All right. So that scene happens, and I was very confused, but you've straightened me out. I understand a little bit better where all this is coming from. Let's just jump in and talk about the cast about this one because, like, we were talking about Ken Berry. Now, Ken Berry, I remember from the Andy Griffith show, Mayberry RFD, like that spinoff that Mayberry RFD. I remember that show, not its original run, but like when you're at home sick and they're running like, as a kid and they're running like old reruns. I remember seeing that show. And then he was on a show with Carol Burnett called Mama's Family with Vicki Lawrence
show.
and
show.
Carol Burnett. And so he was also in this. He was not a bad looking man. He was, and I believe he was also supposed to be sort of like, exactly how he was, like kind of a little bumbling, but a little endearing. And I think that he fills
He's
that
very
role.
every
He's also,
guy. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's also in the Cat from Outer Space, I believe. So.
I've never seen that one.
What? That's, I don't even hear the words that are coming out of your mouth right now. That's crazy.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Yeah, that's right.
Is that our first Rush Hour reference? Probably rightfully so.
The first and
only.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool.
There's going to be a lot more coming. In the future. So stick around for all the Rush Hour. Helen Hayes plays Mrs. Steinmetz, who is again like the aunt, I guess, of Tennessee.
Yeah.
Because his also name is Steinmetz, I guess. John McIntyre plays Mr. Judson, and he's like listed way at the top of the credits. And I was like, who is Mr. Judson? I just watched this movie, and I don't know who Mr. Judson is. He was the cowboy. He was the cowboy.
Where did he come in, though? I loved his storyline. I thought it was great. But, like, all of a sudden he was just there. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I've been paying attention. I might have been playing a little Candy Crush. Okay, so he just like popped up and then he was in there and became one of my favorite parts of the movie. I thought he was lovely.
Yeah. So he was drunk, I think, on the side of the road, and and jumping ahead as
when they were like, getting back
on the cable car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first time we see him. But I mean,
all right.
He was in the original movie Psycho. He was Sheriff Chambers in the original movie Psycho. He was Amos Reed in Turner and Hooch, the Tom Hanks movie. He was Rufus, the voice in the Rescuers movie. Like, he has quite the IMDb. And again, a lot of ties to Disney. And I feel like that was one of those situations. And now he started out as a Western star. So the fact that he's got the cowboy hat on tracks. When we meet him. So I think that that's probably why he had the cowboy hat on, is because of his, kind of a throw to the Westerns. I bet at the time it was probably a big deal. Like, I probably could have asked my dad and said, hey, because my dad had been a huge cowboy fan, like he probably would have known the guy immediately. But He was in Wagon Train. He was in Bonanza. A lot of that stuff. So, but yeah, he comes out of nowhere. There's really no rhyme or reason for why he shows up, but he's there, and then he becomes integral into the rest of the show. Mm-hmm. So the rest of the cast again. So Helen Hayes was, again, big deal actress. She was also she's in it, and then Stephanie Powers, I remember from a TV show in the late '80s, early '90s called Heart to Heart, with Robert Wagner. And then the only other name really of note, I think, is Keenan Wynn, who was actually Ed Wynn's son.
I know.
That's crazy. He does have that vibe about him.
Even though definitely has that vibe about him.
Yeah. Even though Ed Wynn, who, again, if you guys don't know, Ed Wynn was just a huge Disney legend, and he was Uncle Albert and Mary Poppins, and he was the voice of the Mad Hatter, and so he was a big deal. But Keenan Wynn was
that bigness. Was his son. That bigness is there.
The what?
Bigness, like the bigness of him. Ed Wynn was always very big.
Gotcha. Yeah. I do find it funny that if you go into the IMDb listing for this, Herbie is listed as playing himself.
As self? Yep.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's Herbie is listed. And you go through the credits, and he's listed in the $1 Million Duck as Car in the Way, uncredited. Also, it doesn't say his self, it says itself. So Herbie Goes Bananas as itself, Herbie the Love Bug as itself. But they definitely refer to him as he, him in most of this one, or in most of the movies that are out there. But it's just funny to see him. Yes, that is true. Yeah. So, Patrick, here's a flaw that I have in all of these Herbie movies.
Oh, already? We're already to the flaw. Let's go. Yeah.
Wow. Post the first movie. Movie. In the first movie, he becomes a worldwide star.
Yep, and now no one knows who he is.
And again, this is 5 years later. No one knows who he is, and no one still believes that he is sentient.
Sentient. Yep.
And so it's just like we start from zero all the time. I know they had newspapers because we see them reading them all the time.
We see them. We see reels. Don't we see reels of him working? And then he shows up at like the King Arthur thing, which very good scene. This movie is a few very good scenes, not at all connected to anything else.
I believe you're talking about the chicken races. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
I don't know, maybe. I used to go to like the X races over at Riverside Amusement Park, now Six Flags New England. I really enjoyed those. But yeah, and how did the sentient spread? There's a jukebox, a trolley car, and is there a fire engine too? Or is it just a jukebox, the trolley car?
It's a streetcar. It's a streetcar.
Streetcar.
A streetcar named 22.
No, I thought you were going to ask me that. I had that one. I had that one locked. It's my favorite number. Yeah, so there's so much fun to be had in this movie, and it's just not tied together, and the parts that are unpleasant are super unpleasant. I'm sure we'll be talking about them.
Wait, talk more about, what do you mean they're super unpleasant?
I mean, the stuff with Hawk, like this, to borrow a term from the younger generations, it's so cringe. So cringe. It's just, it's uncomfortable to be in the scene with the bellowing and the yelling, and it's just this petulant man-child who's never been checked in his life, and it's just running around just causing havoc everywhere for the sake of building a giant building. And I like the one construction worker who's kind of like, taking you for $80,000 a day, and then he had to find another renegade, I guess, construction worker. I don't know, man. This movie loses me at several different points in time, but there's so much fun in some of it. There's a good movie in here somewhere.
Let's talk about this too, by the way. Like the
yeah, I loved it.
But like the green screen of it all.
Oh, the green screen's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible. And if you go back and watch some of the stuff that we've done, I always forget what they're called, the matte paintings, and where they utilize those. Sometimes it can be very beautiful.
Yeah.
But this actually suffers from what one of my favorite newer Disney movies suffers from is Wish, is there's that black outline around the characters when they're like in that it just doesn't sit right. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, like
they don't feel like they're in the scene.
yeah, it's just like
Those
it's not
birds are
lit
going
correctly or
nuts.
not.
Yeah. Or it's just that we have better technology now.
Yeah. It's I'm watching the chat, and Dawn said the lobster smack into the water was
Oh,
great
it's
because
great.
that tracks. If
So
you hit the
good.
guy with the lobster, that he's going to go flying, not just falling,
Yeah.
but flying over the
Yeah.
side.
She had a hit. By the way, kudos to that stunt worker who just decided like, yeah, this is my one day on set and I am gonna make them beg for me to come back. I'm gonna make it worth every single dollar of theirs.
Right. Yeah. But again, it's they're all there are so many gags. Like that's a gag, the smacking, them wearing the lobster bibs. Like let's go. I guess
It was pretty
do
adorable.
people still do that?
I mean, people don't usually come up and do it, but my mother-in-law is a Maina, and to watch her tear into a lobster, she always wears a bib because it's awful to look at. It is scary.
So funny.
So
Like
yeah,
it's such a fancy thing to do to have a lobster. And
I
to get
mean,
that
here
big.
in New England, it's not like always fancy. Like we go out to a great place called Abbott's Lobster in the Rough, right next door to Costello's, and you go and you get a lobster, and it's this little shack on the water. It's not fancy. It's just very similar to this, but nobody comes and ties the lobster bib on you. That's a you make that choice.
That's a fancy place, yeah. Let's talk about this for a second while we're talking about that restaurant. There was something in the background when they would go, and I
Okay,
guess they kept
yeah.
going back to that same restaurant. Um, there was something in the background of that restaurant that was like you could see the name of the restaurant, and I looked it up, and it was a real restaurant.
Yeah,
Um,
I think they played pretty close to like real locations in San Francisco. They were at
well,
Fisherman's Wharf for a while.
yes, Fisherman's Wharf. The restaurant in the background of that picture was uh wait a minute, hold on a second, I've got this. I I
Hey,
took copious notes on this one. The restaurant
you
in the back
got
of that picture
this.
is Castagnola.
Oh,
uh
Castanolas. Yeah, I've
yeah,
heard of
and
that.
apparently it closed in 2020 because
Oh
of
man.
COVID. Yeah.
Oh,
It
that
was says
bites.
historical restaurant in San Francisco in the city's Fisherman's Wharf, famous for their crab cocktail. So that was
Ooh,
one of the restaurants
ooh.
you see, and then the other
Yeah.
one that you saw was the one they were in was apparently
Was the
Tarantino's,
Oh,
which
see,
was
I have that in the her in the IMDb trivia now. This is user submitted, so it's not is they said it's the Garden Court of the Sheridan Palace Hotel.
ah.
So who knows?
Well, that may have been the actual shot, but when they walk out of the
Hmm.
restaurant, you can see the sign that
Oh,
says
got you. Yeah.
Tarantino's. So they may have like faked it out, but like this was the place. But apparently, according to Yelp, it's out of business. So, but yeah,
Uh-uh.
I love that they were using real places. That's awesome. Because that doesn't always happen. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of different gags in here,
Mhm.
and one of them that I also found to be a little bit silly was they're in a firehouse,
Mhm.
and she goes, "Okay, good night," and then
No,
she
that was
just
great. Yes, it was lovely.
there were a lot of times in this movie, dude. Again, we're talking about green screen. It's 1974, and it's the
Yep.
budget on this was something ridiculously low, like $6.7 million. So that probably all
A
went
lot
to
of that's
paying for.
Herbie's salary.
Yeah, probably exactly. But like the green screen thing. But there are so many places in this that like when they
Yeah.
do the stunts and that you can clearly see that it's the stunt guy and not Ken Berry driving the car. Like
Yeah.
clearly, like not even pausing. Like you see it and you're like, I
No.
don't even know who that dude is.
No.
Is that like
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy. Um so yeah, there was that, and then there was like a lot of the there's something, and I don't know if this was a Robert Stevenson directorial choice, but there's something in the period pieces of Disney movies of this time
Mhm.
where they do like the fast fast forward of the
Yeah.
vehicle or whatever.
Yeah.
And we see that a lot, especially when Herbie's driving them through the city.
Yep. Yep. It
And it makes
almost
it,
feels Hanna-Barbera-esque, where, like when you do the Flintstones and everything, it's just them going through the same backdrop over and over again.
yes. So there's a song in there as well that is from the original Herbie, and it is, I think it's like just called like, like Herbie's theme or something like that. When you hear it, do you recognize that song? That like it's
It
very,
sounded very familiar. I thought
yeah.
it was just from other Herbies. It's not from other Herbies?
No, it's legitimately, it's called the Love Bug Herbie's theme. Like it's a song, so it's
Yeah.
from the original
Yeah.
movie, but then they play that in here, and so it's one of those things, kind of like the Avengers anthem, where
Yeah.
you kind of hear those stingers every now
Yep.
and then. I like
Yep.
it. I think that's a cool thing.
I do
Like I
too.
couldn't, yeah.
More
That's
connections to this universe. This is the second movie now. We've talked about the other ones, but like this does not do a great job. I don't know why we're always like, yeah, nobody remembers who Herbie is. If there was a car that had any sort of sentience, it would still be. I mean, honestly, we're still talking about Herbie, you and I at least, but it would be talked about forever. Like if Prime legit rolled up, we were like, oh, remember that time that the semi truck talked? Like everybody's gonna know. You're
yeah.
not gonna forget. Put some
Yeah.
respect on Herbie's name.
Yeah. Well, and as soon as I posted that we were doing this review tonight, somebody posted on the video and said, or on my X account, and it's a social media account you don't know about. We don't tell you about X anymore. But honestly, somebody posted and said there needs to be more Herbie, and I think
There
when we
does.
get to
We've
the end of
talked
this,
about that.
we should talk about that a little bit more when this is over.
100%.
So again, we talked about the cast. That was really the only music. There wasn't a lot of other music in it. I mean, there was like some score or whatever, but it wasn't like there wasn't a big theme or a hit or like some other music that they did in this, other than when the weird jukebox would play other songs and Helen Hayes would call them out. So let's talk about that.
Needle drops on that. It was very weird. I imagine at the time it was probably more meaningful.
Yes. So early in the thing, again, she's reestablishing why, the sequel rules of, we need to tell you what's happened, and she's telling it to Willoughby because she needs to get like the words out to us. So she tells him, hey, Jim Douglas went over here, did this, Herbie or Tennessee is out doing this, and he's looking for like the life in objects, and so she's talking about the jukebox
With
or
his
whatever it is,
guru.
it's like weird thing, and then like number 22 that's out back, and how they're all alive, and he's not buying any of it, but it's a little creepy, dude, to think that all of your stuff is like got a soul.
I mean, that's the weirdness of Toy Story, right? It's the same kind of idea.
Okay, you got me.
Yeah.
Yep, that's absolutely the same thing as Toy Story. So kids, this is like Patrick and I have it right as far as life goes. Is that you don't want to throw anything away. Make sure you keep everything. Keep everything, because it all has a soul. Just keep it all.
A soul.
Just keep it, everything.
Look at it all.
That's why we do it, because we care.
Yeah. It's because
of
their souls, not
Yes.
not to fill empty voids inside of us, but definitely because
Not
of
to
their
get
souls.
that just little serotonin boost every time you you open up a new
I
package.
had to
it
go
has nothing-
digital. That's why I enjoy the Topps trading card games. I'm like, ooh, serotonin. Ooh, serotonin.
Piece of candy.
Piece of candy.
So there's a moment where Herbie has flashbacks.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
And the funny part about this to me is that it's kind of the B-roll from the first movie, but without the actors. We never see any of the actors, which of course, none of them actually drove the vehicles anyway. So like, and it's like the headlines, and so it's a little much. I feel like that's a cheeseball moment where he's having this like flashback of having been such a superstar.
But like, is Herbie's brain in the hood? Because isn't it is that where his because it's like focusing on the hood when he's running through all that, and I was like, isn't the Beetle at this point in time the engine in the trunk? So wouldn't that be his brain? And these are things I think about when the movie's bad.
All right, so that was his dream.
Yep.
Then when Alonzo Hawk is having problems sleeping later in the movie, he has a dream because his doctor is suggesting that he count sheep, and as the sheep are jumping over the fence, they all have the number 53 on them, which I guess you had to do that to them. And then here comes this nightmare. What?
I missed that Herbie. I like that Herbie. It's like an evil puppet Herbie. It's like Uncle Deadly in Herbie form.
And there's a bunch of them, and they have shark teeth, and they're all after him. How did this not give children of the 70s nightmares?
I don't know how many people actually saw this. Is it a lot? Like what's?
Dawn said the vampire Herbie was amazing.
It was great. Yeah.
The next scene though was a little problematic.
Oh God, I did not clock that. Which is funny because there is a warning.
How did you not see that?
I don't know. That fever dream washed me away in it. There is a warning on this, but it's just for tobacco use. And I was like, we probably could have.
Yeah, usually when there's like a culturally insensitive part of it, or like they say,
a little content warning. But no, there's a lot of cigars going on.
But like they all have tomahawks and headdresses, and they scalp him.
Maybe that's how Herbie. Herbie was once a shaman or something, and that's what's in there.
And then there's
this is a great. If this was like a sketch comedy show that Herbie was somehow, if Herbie was a special guest of an episode of SNL, this is what it would be, and it would be a lot better than this movie, which is a bunch of half-baked ideas strung together. Where sometimes I'm like, I'm having a really good time here. Like Nicole. And why can't I think of his name? Nicole and the male lead, Willoughby. They have a cute little love story going on. It's nice, and Grandma's in it. Like, it's cute. And then there's just 12 angry men with a side of how to succeed in business without really trying in there. I don't think this movie knew what it wanted to be. It's literally Herbie, the quest for more money.
How dare you, sir? And there was some weird little inconsistencies that bothered me as I was watching it. There's the thing where she said she needs to get up and go call Granny, but then when she gets to the phone, Granny says, "Okay, the reason I'm calling is wait, who was calling who here?"
Granny was just being intuitive, Rob. That's all.
Okay. My bad. That's on me. That's on me.
It is truly.
Yeah. So she's at home, like hanging out, and lets them have their thing. And there's this whole like assumption that he's working up to propose to her. Yeah. So that's a whole thing. But then the whole time that this is going on, Hawk doesn't have to, and maybe this is what you talked about at the beginning, Hawk doesn't have any rules over him. There is no laws governing him. In a lot of these movies, the risk of losing whatever is because they haven't paid the mortgage, and so therefore the bank owns it, which is, so they can foreclose on it, or there's some reason that they can do this. Yeah. Why is he allowed to take all her stuff?
He admits that he does not own the land. He admits that what he's doing is wrong. And he just has a lot of high-powered lawyers that are backing him up that he seems to just be able to fire and bring on a whole new bunch. He's a very powerful businessman. And it seems that very few rules apply to him.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, that's, but it's one of those things where it's like, they decide to hunker down and defend themselves with a fire hose. Call the freaking police. And I guess maybe
they do, and I appreciated this. Well, no, he clearly doesn't, because the police commissioner and traffic
he's
commissioner.
He's a traffic commissioner.
which did not know that was a thing. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But he gives him a bunch of citations, and like it still didn't stop him. Like the risk reward here is so huge, and he could just take it like eminent domain. Just there's ways around this. He's just being evil for the sake of being evil, and he's loud and evil and awkward and clumsy with it. He's a bad evil person.
Yeah, I think so. I agree with you. Ronald said he had the city officials in his pocket. I mean, they definitely were like they favored him in some of the situations when they were going to pull the car for him and all of that. But I don't know that he had the wherewithal or the rights to just go to her house, take all her stuff, put it in the warehouse, and then make it so
especially not with a warrant or anything.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like he definitely, and there were a couple times he talked about how he was, trying to, that he was trying to like fudge things a little bit because he didn't have the permit to demolish, or he didn't have the ownership papers or things. So he was doing he was doing things illegally. But some of the stuff that he was doing like right in front of their face, I feel like they should have been able to call somebody about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a movie. I get it. It's a movie in 1974 made for kids and families. Well, I see a lot of people in the chat talking, and I love that. So thank you guys so much for being here. And also, Patrick, thanks for being here tonight. Man, I love talking to you about this stuff. It's a lot of fun.
I love talking Herbie. I mean, I think when we get to like the end, we'll probably talk. And I think, man, this is a franchise that needs to be around. There's something about it.
I agree. But you want to answer trivia questions now, right? Because Rosita's in the chat.
I really and truly don't, because I would like to tell you. And I don't, because what happened with this is I don't know what happened. This movie, I don't know if it really exists. This could all just be like a dream of some sort. Maybe I'm in the Matrix. I'm not entirely sure what I saw was real. And when it ended, I was left with so many questions about life and the mysteries of it and how things work. And it's gone, Rob. Rob, don't make me answer these questions, Rob.
No, you'll like this. This will be fun. This will be fun. No, you'll love this. This will be fun. So, there's when the movie first opens up and Alonzo Hawk is like being the one to blow things up, he does the whole Wile E. Coyote plunger thing, and I had to look it up to see if there was a different name for it. It's like a detonator, but it's basically called. It says. It's called a blasting. This is what the Google AI said.
Oh, sure.
It's a blasting machine or a shot exploder, commonly called a plunger. So I thought it was called a plunger. It does seem like that's the action you're taking. It's a portable source of electric current to reliably fire a blasting cap to trigger a main explosive charge, and it's mostly used in mining or demolition. So there's your fact of the week. There's something to take to the office. Talk about it around the water cooler. Hey, you know that thing?
Hey, you know that thing on the end of a shoe? It's called an aglet.
Yeah. No,
Phineas and Ferb is coming back.
Yes. That's going to be great. See, they're calling it season 5.
Nice. 6 seasons in a movie.
So the question is, when his driver hands him wherever he got this plunger from, I don't know, so he doesn't have to get out of the car and can still blow up these buildings. He hands him a plunger, and it has initials on it. What are those initials?
Oh my God. I was paying so much attention to this, and I swear it just went out. Is it TNT? It feels like it should be TNT.
Oh, I would love it if it was TNT. I mean, that would be...
Is it like his initials is like A something H? Because they mentioned his middle initial a couple times. No? All right, hit me with it.
It's very strange.
Yeah. CDI.
Yeah. I don't know. Look it up. I have no idea. I don't... Rosita said CDI. She knew. See, this is why Rosita needs us to
Acme
do
would have been
the
good.
Trivia.
Yeah.
Yeah, Acme would have been good too. I would have been down for that one. So there you go.
Rob, I paid so much attention, and I did not clock that at all. Very well done.
It was right, but it was one of those things that kind of came back to over and over again. I would expect you to know this one. What is the number on the fire station?
27, right?
That is correct. So there, see, I saw that from the beginning. I thought it was going to be a minor thing. It is 27.
27 is It is 27. Okay, I
Yeah,
thought
it's Fire Station
that's
27.
not the address though. Right,
The
right,
address
right.
is like 816, but I wasn't going to
Yeah,
go
yeah.
there. So the fire station is number 27. Very easy.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and again, Mrs. Fire Chief 66. I would assume Mrs. Fire Chief would know the fire station number. That's great. Dawn also said 27 on that one.
They mention it a lot.
What airline does Nicole work for?
Global?
That is correct.
It's global. Yeah.
That is correct. They keep sending a van for her.
With just a whole bunch of women in red suits. I was like, this is pretty cool. Is this really how flight attendants worked back in the day? Which, by the way, big time Mary Tyler Moore vibes with that outfit. Big time Mary Tyler Moore vibes.
Yeah, I forget. Who can turn the world on with a smile? Who could take a nothing day and suddenly make it all seem worthwhile?
I think the Park Adventurers Club, Rob.
Thank you. All right, you ready? Where's Willoughby? What city? What state is Willoughby from?
Oh God, Idaho.
No.
Illinois.
Now you're just random.
Iowa.
Guessing.
No, it's an I state. It's an I state. There's only 3 of them.
I'm staring at the chat to see if somebody else throws it out there. But there's a city he's from too, but
Decatur.
No, Dawn, it's not Idaho.
I thought it was Idaho.
Yeah.
Decatur, Illinois.
Potato Land. No, it's not.
Potato.
It's not that one. Mandy, I think, was going to put
All
Potato
right,
Land.
what do
in
you
there.
got? Hit me with
Potatoes.
it.
Missouri.
That doesn't sound right.
But he's from Hawk City, Missouri.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Now it's ringing a bell. All right.
His mom is
I've done this for money, and I've won a significant amount of money doing this. That's why this is so upsetting.
All right. You know what? We were talking, Maleko and I were talking when we did the review of Moana 2, and he said, what's really infuriating is you're asking me questions about a movie I literally saw 12 hours ago. So anyway, Willoughby is Alonzo's nephew. What is Willoughby's mother's name?
That's a good question. They talk about her a lot. Is it Bandit, Chili, Bluey? Bingo.
Bandit.
Is it a member of the Healer family, Rob?
Oh man. Whew. Rosita, are you cheating? Because Rosita knows them. She's got them.
Wow.
Frida. Go girl.
Wow.
Nailed it. Okay. I don't know if you're going to know. Here's one you will definitely not know, but I love this. I love that this existed. When they're doing the big chase scene, and there were several, when they're doing the big chase scene, they smash a pretzel cart. How much were the pretzels?
50 cents.
He says with the most confidence of a wrong man. The most.
I know.
Just.
I was hoping that if I projected it, you'd be like, yeah, okay, that's right. Maybe I saw it wrong.
Yeah. No.
God, this is torture. It is truly torture.
I would give the chat a second to catch up on that one, but it was 25 cents, 5 for $1.
Yeah, there was a 5. There was 2 5s in there. I saw the 5, and it opened up my eyes. I saw the 5.
No, that's the sign, Mr. Ace of Base. So
got it again. She has a great memory for all this stuff.
I know, right? Hang on a second. There's one.
She should join us for Hakuna Matrivia.
She should. Hakuna Matrivia this Friday night at 8:30. We'll talk about that at the end. But here's the thing. What was the name of Alonzo's secretary? Something very throwbacky.
Wow. Marge? Betty. Betsy. Beauregard. Belinda. Pat Benatar. It was Pat Benatar in a guest role.
Well, you did hit it with your best shot. Rosita said, dang, Penny? Question mark. No, it's not Penny. Like you mean like Money Penny, like as in James Bond, or the fact that like there
No,
was
it's
Penny
like
from Bolt
Inspector
and Penny
Gadget's
from Rescuers and Penny from No, it was
Mildred?
Millicent.
Millicent. That's a great name. That's Barbie's name.
Yeah, actually, Dawn was close and said Mildred. But yeah, it was Millicent was the name on that one. And let's close this out because I know you're having a great time.
I hate you.
Oh, I love you so much. How many stories tall is Hawk Plaza?
Oh, it was something that seemed really tall then, but is not. 85? Is it 85 stories tall? 100? 200? 5,000?
Did you say 5,000?
I did.
Whew. Mrs. Fire Chief said 28. Rosita said 27. It was 130 stories tall. 130 stories tall. So, yeah.
Where would that put it, like, up amongst the tallest buildings today? Hold on. Tallest building in the world.
I don't know.
Let's see. The Burj Khalifa is 828 meters. How many stories?
Yeah.
Oh, so, okay. That's almost 3,000 stories.
By the way,
2,717. Yeah.
Problematic the relationship between Millicent and
yeah,
and
that's very much.
Yeah, and again, we won't. I don't think we need to get into that, but yeah, sign of the times. I get it. But anyway, there's.
I wanted to see Nicole hit Hawk real bad.
Maybe there could have been a spin-off sequel. I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, thank you guys for playing along. I appreciate it. And again, Friday night we're going to do a trivia show on this channel, so I will stick around to the end and we'll tell you all a little bit about that. But Patrick, thanks for being a good sport. I feel like you kind of love-hate the trivia. I mean, it's kind of fun.
I do love-hate the trivia. Again, if this isn't something that I've done successfully for money multiple
and made
times,
money from. Yeah.
It would be less frustrating. This is why I don't like go to bar trivia and things.
Maybe I should have offered you money. That's the problem.
If you offered me money, I guarantee the next episode we do, if you pay me, I will do better. I need to be incentivized. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
By the way, what is with poor man's John Cleese in this one? Tell me.
Oh my God! I thought for a section. No, do you know who I thought it was? From Hedley Lamar, Blazing Saddles. Who is that actor?
This was fun too. This whole audience, like the chicken race thing, like.
Oh my God! It was so good. I wish he got on the chicken race series. That would have been so much better.
It was something.
I thought it was Corman. It was Harvey Korman for a second. That's who I thought it was.
Okay. By the way, when they were chasing after Herbie, they were very cutthroat about it.
Yeah.
He was like something about like he wants him dead or alive, or I don't know. It was just something.
No, he was super evil, and not hiding it in any way, shape, or form. Just openly evil.
This part right here where they have him trapped, but he drives around the three cars like this, but he can't get around that car on the road.
Exactly upset me. I know that you get into stuff like that, and I'm like, Rob's going to get this, but for once, Rob is right. Like, that's so stupid.
Yeah.
Herbie could have done the lift up and gone past it. It's
there was a superhero movie. The same basic wall right there. Here's the other thing that kind of drove me nuts is all three of those cars were parked side by side. They all came in one at a time, right? They're explaining to Alonzo afterwards how he got away from them. And watch the background here. The cars come in now.
1, 2, yep.
That drove me bananas. And I don't mean the
like
Herbie goes bananas way. Yeah. I don't mean that way. But it just, I was like, wait a minute, you already did that. And then, of course, they go into the parking garage and wackiness ensues. And Helen is just looking over her grocery list.
Oh, my God. Going, that was really funny to me, though. It was really funny to me.
It's all gags, man. The whole thing is gags. The whole
gags on
movie.
gags on gags.
The one where you have the window washer and you know he fills the place with soap, and then you have the bit where they
That was a good
drive
gag
through.
too.
Yeah, the bit where they drive through the orchestra playing, and the part where he drives into the hotel. It was like here are the things you liked about Herbie in the first one. The wacky little things that he would do. Let's plus it out. Let's do more of that. So, I don't know, man. There's the pretzel cart right there when they crash the pretzel cart, and there they are, 25 cents.
There it is, right there.
Yep. Yeah. So again, lots of little gags and things. Lots of people you're like, I've seen them in something. There's a lot of those bits as you go along. So
it was very Wile E. Coyote-y at times.
No, I mean everything was perfectly like things you could do. Like, you know, this is exactly how a window washer machine would look.
Okay, hold on a second. Is that really how window washers worked in 1974? Like they had these automatic cannons on them? I always see it as like just one person, and I'm like, did this exist? I feel like this is technology beyond its year. I could be wrong. I imagine it existed.
This is like the Star Trek of those. Yeah. You know, which movie was it? Was it Herbie Goes Bananas or Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo, where Herbie was on? I think it was Herbie Goes Bananas, where he was on a ship. Remember that? He was like in their like stateroom.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this reminded me of, where he's like, you know, yes, there are double doors there, but like they just go ahead and bring Herbie in, and he's just like chilling, like right by the furniture and everything. It's great. And then Hawk, of course, puts it out there that Hawk gives up. And he makes a big like to do about it, but no, this is weird.
I liked that. I liked that.
But the third act kind of happens with like 10 minutes left to go.
Boom, just like that. It is super fast. It is a poorly thought out film, Rob. It is like slapdash together, and like you said, bit on bit on bit. But I have to say, I liked his double turn there. I enjoyed that. I thought it was good. I was like, oh, that is more in the line of evil that I'm looking for in my 1970s children movie villain.
Okay. Here's that scene I was talking about where you can see the you say it?
Castaноlis?
Yeah, you see that in the background. That was kind of interesting. So Herbie leaves the place, leaves the lady, goes to get them, and how did they get to the thing in the first place? I don't know.
I don't know, man. Movie magic. Okay.
Yeah, movie magic.
Something.
So he goes to get them, and then he goes and gets all of these other...
every construction equipment in the city of San Francisco.
Now, why couldn't he have... No, he goes to get every Volkswagen, but why couldn't he have taken over...
That's right.
Why couldn't he have like talked to the construction vehicles and talked like if they're all sentient?
Maybe they don't have a soul. I don't know. Maybe they're
just the
sellouts.
Volkswagen Bugs have souls.
Only streetcars and jukeboxes.
That tracks.
Nothing really tracks, Rob. Nothing tracks.
Nothing. He goes all over San Francisco and he gets all the bugs and he brings them to fight this war, and they fight up against
Avengers Assemble.
Avengers Assemble, and they all go up against Alonzo. Now it's just that whole like thing is bizarre. Like, you know, with them putting the flag up at the top, that was a thing. And then when you see them like go down
I'd watch that whole love story between the widowed fire chief's widow and Miss. Yeah, it was great. What a gentleman.
Yeah. So there was one other thing about the car collection that drove me nuts, and it was cute, the one in the junkyard and how he wanted to participate, so he came out of there. Can you guess what drove me nuts?
I don't know. I got nothing.
This.
Oh yeah, that was real.
Because it was
odd.
A frozen image. It was not.
Yeah.
There was a frozen image of them, and they changed the green screen behind them. Why?
I don't know.
What's the bit?
I haven't a clue. I don't know. That was super awkward. Like, I expected them to like stop and be like, "Wah!" You know, but no. No.
Yeah, and then here's the bit where they show everybody in the car, and that's clearly not Ken Berry. Like, not even close. He's just, again, It's just how we did it in 1974.
Yeah.
I don't really mean to break this apart, but when you and I sat down to watch this one, yeah, no, of course. But when you and I sat down to watch this one, I love Herbie. Again, I'm representing right here. I got number 53.
Yeah.
Have
Hey,
a picture
Rob, by the
taken with
way,
him.
why is he number 53?
Ooh, I don't know. Why is he number
That's
53?
right. That is.
Is that when the book was
probably,
written?
No, it's Don Drysdale's number. Famous pitcher Don Drysdale. I don't know if we were LA or Brooklyn Dodgers at that time. But yeah.
Rosita said, "Nice shirt." Thank you, Rosita. I appreciate it. This
It's a
was
nice
from
shirt.
Fully
I
Loaded,
always
by the way.
think it's a nice shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what else am I going to wear for this one? I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, I don't know.
Got
I
it. Ringer tees are the way to go. I love a ringer tee.
I also have this thing that's called a Zip Zap, and it's from Herbie Fully Loaded.
Oh,
And
yeah, I remember those.
it's still mint in box, and it says
Of
Herbie up
course
here
it
at the
is.
top. And
Because
it's got a
toys
remote
are meant
control.
to be displayed. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But it's got a whole kit of, like, you can replace the tires and the wheels, and it's got a remote, and it's really cool, and I love it, and I will always keep it in this package.
Just like Ride Makers, right?
You remember Ride Makers? That was great.
Oh God, I haven't got to reference that in so long. That felt good.
Yeah.
Dust that old gem off.
Did you have one in your neighborhood?
No. Just talking about the one I knew is the one in Springs.
Well, there was one in downtown Disney too.
Yeah, well, that's what I was referring to.
I mean, in California.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
But I once went to, when I was looking for my house, I went to a house and they had a closet full of them. I'm like, oh, they must be DVC AP, respect.
Yeah. Good times. Anyway, they try to fight him off. They can't. Here comes the army of bugs. They chase Hawk away. He's scared. He goes to the cops. They lock him up because he's created so much damage and he's acting crazy. And then it's happily ever after for everybody, and they get married, and apparently no one shows up to the wedding that's not in a car. That is not a car.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
I don't know, man. It was real odd.
Yeah.
What an interesting scene, though.
Well, the part that I think is the funniest about the whole thing is that there's a bunch of rando kids in 70s outfits, like, throwing rice down the road here.
Yeah.
Who brought those kids? I don't know.
I don't know.
So, yeah.
How do they lose Herbie? How do they misplace Herbie? Like,
you mean how does he get to the next movie?
Yeah.
Isn't the next one Herbie goes to Monte Carlo and Jim's got him back again? Like he brings him over.
Oh, I guess maybe he came back from his guru.
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah, with the guru. Yeah. So, and again, Keenan Wynn is kind of like royalty in a way because of him being the son of Ed Wynn. Ed Wynn is like Sterling Holloway. It's one of those, like, even if you're like, in your 20s, you have heard him somewhere along the way because of being a Disney fan.
But what was the direction he was given in this? Like, what is Stevenson telling him? Like, what is his direction? More, louder, more and louder.
I needed to
no
be
nuance.
Over the top, Keenan. By the way,
kick this puppy.
I don't know if you looked into it, but in the trivia section for Keenan Wynn, it says that his given name, and I'm going to pull this up for you because I certainly wasn't going to ask you this question. But his given name is hold please.
Keenan
Ivory
Wynn.
No,
Wynn,
it's
Damon
like
Wynn.
9. It's like, I don't know why I don't see it here. It's like Giuseppe and
Hey,
Keenan
it's a
Wynn.
paisan! Ah, como se llama? What's going on?
It was quite a name, yes. Oh, here it is. Francis Xavier Aloysius James Jeremiah Keenan Wynn is his birth name. Francis Xavier Aloysius James Jeremiah Keenan Wynn. Keenan was his mother's last or maiden name, so apparently that's
cool.
where that
I
came
like
from.
that.
He passed away in '86 in Los Angeles from pancreatic cancer. So,
Jeez, way to bring the
uh,
show down.
I know, way to bring it down, way to bring it down. But anyway, Patrick, we're gonna need to get a final say from you on this one. But there are a couple things I
Yeah.
want to get out of the way. First is to say, first of all, this franchise, the Herbie franchise.
Yeah.
He was part of Lights Motors Action at Disney. He was in Disney on
Yep.
Parade, which was kind of like a Disney on Ice that toured around. You know, there's been a couple of reboots. There was the Bruce Campbell reboot that was for the Wonderful World of Disney,
Which we need. We need.
It's not on here. It's not on
I know.
here.
I know. We should just do it. You know what? If there's patrons and there's interest in it, we should do that for patrons.
Agree. So there's been 5 movies, and then there's also the 6th one that we can't get our hands on, and then you know, he's been here and there. But would people care about a Herbie franchise? And let me cite the fact that we're about to see Freakier Friday come out this summer.
So, yes, because this is going to be so long-winded. People are living longer, right? So my mother, you know, she has a connection to Herbie. She gave me the connection to Herbie. I didn't really connect with Lindsay Lohan's version. I wasn't really the target demographic. But whenever I have something that can connect my mom, myself, and my daughter, so anything that hits that nostalgia that we can introduce from 1 or 2 generations back, there is a place for it. And I think we have a lot of cinematic universes and we have a lot of non-original content. Like, it's content based. It's all IP. It's no one's out there except for, like, you know, Ryan Coogler, which go see Sinners. Apparently it's out of this world, that are making like real original stuff. Maybe some A24, but to bring this back and put a modern spin on it. And honestly, I've been thinking about this. What I would really do in this situation is what I wish they did with Cruella, and make it a backdoor movie. And by saying that is, you don't know that this is the character. Maybe it's about a guy who wants to race really bad and he just not good at it. It's a sports movie. And then at the end, you don't know, this Herbie rolls up and now he's racing in Herbie and he's winning. And if you want to reboot a franchise, there you go. But just like they did with Thunderbolts with that asterisk, there are ways to make movies be about something without expressly telling you. And I think that's what really got me about Cruella. I liked Cruella, but that's a lady who wants to murder puppies. She's not redeemable from that point in time. But if I watch this movie taking place in Old Town London about this fashion person and her friends and trying to figure it out, and at the end we get the reveal with the black and white hair, like, that to me is better than telling me what I'm going in to see. Like, hey, this is a Disney movie. It's starring Emma Stone. It takes place in London. It's about fashion. I'm sure it would leak by now, but like, I want to be surprised still. I think Thunderbolts might be one of my favorite Marvel movies because it's surprise, and that asterisk means something.
Okay. By the way, there was a 1982 TV series that had 5 episodes, and Bill Bixby actually directed 2 of them. Very interesting. But I don't know if we wouldn't want to see something on Disney Plus about this. Maybe might be more accessible than something that's in a theater. What I don't want to see is this. I don't want to see them make it sort of like a Stephen King thing where like it's some human spirit that's locked in to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to see that twist.
No, you can make it technology at this point in time. Like, you can make it technology. Like, it's AI. And the AI helps him drive, but in the big race, the AI lets go, and now he's driving and like tells him, "You did it." I mean, it's very Bumblebee-ish, but I have to think that Herbie is a huge influence on Bumblebee.
Okay. All right. So before we get to our final thought, I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. We ran a little bit over, so I appreciate you guys hanging out with us
Yeah,
on
yeah.
your Wednesday night. Thank you guys so much. I do want to give a shout out. We do have our own Patreon. We are, if you want to help support the channel, you can go to patreon.com/GoPack. I want to give a shout out to all of our pack members, including some of our elites: Jungle Cruiser, Rosita, William, Monica, Michael, Jayware, Alicia, Rob, Vince, Jordan, and Sienna for being supporters, hanging out with us.
Ooh.
If you do want to get involved with the pack,
Wolfpack.
it's not the Wolf Pack, it's PAC. It's Go Pack. It's still fun. It's still fun to me. So it's patreon.com/Go Pack. At our lowest level or our easiest level, you can get in and be part of our Discord and hang out with us in our community, and that would be wonderful to have you there. But also we have other things like a little bit of swag that we do for some of our other members, and that's actually in the mail this week. So we have a button
Oh,
and
sweet.
a sticker
That's
for
awesome.
some of those. I'm not sure. I guess I can need to mail one to you for being such a big part of all of this as well. But we'll wait until I owe you a popcorn bucket or something.
I'll play for merch. The next time we do trivia, it'll be different levels of merch.
Yes.
There you go.
Tell him what he's won, Johnny. That's
the next one here. Win Rob's stuff.
No. Coming up, though, tonight we're doing the Herbie, and then on Friday we're doing Hakuna Trivia 2, which is our trivia show hosted by my son. He did the first one about a month ago. We're going to do one a month on these. This is the second one. He has live contestants, and they go up against the chat to give answers to questions. He had a lot of fun with that one, and we all had a lot of fun watching that one. And then, so that'll be this Friday at 8:30 p.m. live, and then also Sunday night we have our park show that we do now. It's the Park Adventures Club live. That's at 8:30 on Sunday nights. Thank you guys
join
again
the pack, baby.
Please, yeah, be a member of the pack. At least subscribe to packadventuresclub.com. Also, last Friday, Epic Universe is coming out. Annie and I ranked all of the attractions for Epic Universe. You can come watch the ranking and then disagree with us if you want. What did you say?
I just want to go to Epic Universe. I'm trying so hard to convince Shayna to go to Epic Universe. I just want to pet a dragon. I'm trying to get CC to watch How to Train Your Dragon. I bring it up all the time. Like, I don't want to throw, I have the hammer. If I show her a video of Troller Coaster, I'm going to Universal. But I don't want to do that. I want to incept them. I just want to pet Toothless. Is that so wrong? You know what? I want to take Ben Harris. I want to take Ben Harris and pet Toothless with Ben Harris.
Well, I got to go with Jake, and Jake is also a huge fan of Toothless, because he's Stitch's cousin, basically, because Chris Sanders, creator of both. But it's great. It's pretty good, and I think if you get her involved with the How to Train Your Dragon movies before she goes, then I think you probably will have her locked in. So. Yeah. All right. So we did all that. We talked about this movie. And I think you've kind of hinted at what you think about this movie, Patrick, which is again kind of a surprise. You're my Herbie guy. So,
yep.
After all that we've talked about here, if somebody said, "Hey, I'm thinking about watching Herbie Rides Again," would you recommend this movie?
Absolutely. You should 100% watch this movie. I've been a big fan of the Flophouse podcast for a really long time, and they rank their movies in, is it a good, bad movie, a bad movie, or a movie you kind of like? This is 100% a good, bad movie because it is insane. It's bonkers. It is barely a movie. There's a little bit of a plot, but there's 6 other plots that are more interesting. If you took away Hawk and this was just her versus City Hall, and it was a little tamer and not quite as over-the-top evil, I think this is a really good entry into the Herbie canon. But for right now, do you know what this is great for? Have a couple adult beverages if you imbibe in those, and watch it with your friends and enjoy it. It's just a good, stupid movie to pass the time. Although it was a long 90 minutes. That's my only complaint, is I felt every second of that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I love the Herbie movies, and I am very nostalgic for them. I again have a lot of fond memories of it. It's because of the gags and the goofballness of the whole thing, and it just asks nothing of you but to just sit there and just take in the. Somebody in our pack called it zany. And I think that's
very good description.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely. I think that was Sienna. Said it was zany, and so I agree with that. I think we said crazy, and she replaced it with zany. So zany is the word we'll use. But I think a lot of people, I think we don't get enough of that in modern films where you just sit down and just vegetate and think nothing of it. My wife and I are watching The Pit right now. Whew, that is emotionally draining.
I don't need that, man. The existence is emotionally draining. I need escapism, and this was some good escapism. It was enjoyable. I wanted more because I really like the Herbie movies and I like the character. And don't get me wrong, this is a bad movie, but it's bad in a fun way.
I will say this though, I would love to sit now that we've done all the reviews and just watch them all the way through and see which one stands out for me. The Love Bug is still the GOAT. That's the beginning. That's the.
I think it's Monte Carlo for me. I was thinking about it.
You think what?
I think it's Monte Carlo for me. Monte Carlo.
Okay. All right.
And I have a weird affinity for Fully Loaded after we rewatched it. Like, I find myself oddly drawn to put it on again.
But it's the one, I mean, it's a modern take, which is what we're asking for again, is a modern take. And like the last time we saw that modern take was 1990, was it 1998? Is that when that movie came out? 2005, which...
Get out! Wow.
Yeah. But screenplay by Thomas Lennon. He comes up in the strangest of places. He wrote the screenplay for Night at the Museum. Thomas Lennon.
He's one of the funniest people on earth. He's very funny.
Very good. He's very good. But yeah, so Herbie Fully Loaded, because it's that Herbie like franchise, but with a modern take on it. But again, I love the vibe and the aesthetic of Herbie. Give me more Herbie in the parks. Give me more Herbie merchandise. I think that Stormy Stitch asked about merchandise in general. I have a few things. I would buy more. Same thing with anything like Tron. It's like I want to buy more. And so if you
how about that trailer? How about that trailer?
Oh, the Tron
might need
Aries?
to take a look on the plus side in the aisles. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I like your workshop in it on air. That's great. Okay.
Yeah. You know what? Just
Yeah. But no, I know you want to talk about
baseball.
Yeah. Well, and also who knows if Disney's gonna do something weird with Disney Plus at some point. So we've already branched out into we're going to talk about Hulu stuff as well. So coming up on this, we're going to talk about Jurassic Park because that's on Hulu and some other stuff like that. So we're opening up a little bit on this show. But you know what, Patrick, thanks for being here. Thanks for talking through all this. Thank you guys in the chat. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us so much and love seeing you guys here. Hope to see you guys in our pack.
You are one of the amazing people in our pack. If you're a patron, let us know if you want to see it. We will hunt down the chin in
the
Herbie
Disney's The Love Bug is what they call it. That's the title.
We will find it.
Okay,
legally.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm in. That and
right.
the
but you have to be a yes. You have to be a patron, and you have to let us know. All right. Good. Close the show. I'm sorry. I stepped all over it.
No. You're all good, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for doing this. Hopefully you guys will join us Friday for the Hakuna Trivia and then Sunday night for the Park Adventurers Club. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for taking a look on the plus side with us. Have a great week, everyone, and we will see you guys next time.